Welcome everybody back to the show. This is our final show of the night, and we got a great guest coming on the show, and I am excited. Um, my brother here is Michael Baren. I hope I pronounced that correctly, and he is CEO of Wildlife Command Center. Works with animals, rescue animals, and also has a reality show. We're going to talk to him and find out exactly what he got going on, what he's been doing. You know, um, but before we bring him out, I want to shout out everybody and thank everybody for tuning in and supporting my guests, supporting the show. Thank you guys so much. You guys been great, and I appreciate you guys. Also, want to shout out my son Stacks. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday to him, and thank everyone who sent birthday wishes to my son. I appreciate you guys so much. Big shout out to David J. Paul. Shout out to Mary Spenzia and Andrew that was just prior on the show. Great guy, great interview. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So, folks, right now we have Michael Baren on the show here on the platform. We're going to bring him on. We're going to find out exactly what he's got going on. So please welcome Michael Baren, everyone, to the show. Michael.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Well, you got to maintain that video image, you know.
You have to have it.
That's it. Everybody's got to have a hook.
Right. Got to get the hook in, right?
That's it. That's it.
So, you're an interesting guy. You have your own company, Wildlife Command Center. You work with animals. I'm a big fan of animals. So let's talk about that real quick. When did you start, or what inspired you to become an animal lover, as we all say?
Well, I'll give you
and made you create Wildlife.
Yeah. So the quick tour is I was born and raised and raised in the swamps of Louisiana.
Ooh,
literally.
Boy. Ooh, boy.
I played in the Catahoula swamps as a kid. That's what we did, Wow. And so my love for animals stems from my childhood,
Okay.
I joined the Navy in 1983 and I found out I had a brain. So I became a nuclear weapons technician and worked on nuclear missiles.
Oh, wow. That's big. That's huge.
On submarines underwater. And so eventually after I did all that and I climbed up the corporate ladder a couple of times, I decided to start my own company and work with animals. But mostly I wanted to save people from wild animals. And so that's how I started the company. And that's how I got involved in everything. And then of course, now we've branched off into 5 separate branches within my company.
Wow. Did something happen with an animal and a person that made you want to do it, or you just decided you wanted to do this Wildlife Command Center?
It started this way. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Please tell me.
I became a falconer, and so I trained birds of prey to go hunt with me, so I didn't have to use a gun or I didn't have to use a bow and arrow. I just used my hawks. So my hawks would hunt for me, and people would start coming up to me and say, "Hey, could you bring your hawks and catch the squirrels that are in my attic? Because these things wake me up at 5:30 every morning." And I was like, "Well, my hawks can't do that, but I can do that." So I bought 6 traps, went and solved their problem, fixed up their house afterwards, and they paid me some money. So I was like, "Huh." So I went and bought 6 more traps, and that's how I started the company.
Wow. So how do you train a hawk to attack or bring in a squirrel or any small animal? Because even though depending on how big the hawk is, they can pick up to what, the 20, 30 pounds?
No, there's a lot of internet myth about that.
Okay, good.
But so a regular size hawk. So when you become a falconer in the United States, it's a little different than anywhere else in the world. United States is one of the few countries that still requires that you do an apprenticeship with a master falconer. And during that apprenticeship, the United States requires that you go out and you find a wild red-tailed hawk that's less than 1 year old, and you trap that hawk, you train that hawk, and then you can take it out and you can become a falconer.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. And
Yeah.
how easy it is to trap one of these small animals.
Well, it's like anything else. If you're working with a good master falconer, well, he's going to show you how to do it. I mean, he's a
Right.
master, so he knows. And so, you learn all the tricks and trades from the master, and then eventually you'll become a master,
Right.
and,
I mean,
and you just keep working out. But, with hawks and birds of prey, it's all about positive reward training. So they do something you want, you offer them some positive reward, maybe some food, maybe a kind gesture. And when they do something you don't want, you ignore that behavior, but you don't discipline it. You just ignore it completely. You wait till they do something positive that you do want them to do, and then you reward that behavior. And so it's a type of training system called positive reward.
Okay. So what is something that the hawks love to eat? What is like their favorite, in your opinion?
Hardcore. They're hardcore carnivores, So
Yeah.
if it's meat, they're 2 thumbs up,
Okay with it.
Raw meat, man. That's what they eat. They love raw meat. So
Right.
so what I would do is prepare what we call tidbits, little bitty tiny chunks of raw meat, and the bird would do something I want it to do, and I would reward it with a little small piece of raw meat. And he was like, "Hey, I like this relationship. Let's keep doing it."
Okay. That's awesome.
So, you bounce from one task to the next. When I'm out, I'm from the woods, from the swamps. So hunting is in my blood.
Right.
Just got to do that. But you always strive to be fair, more even. Well, no small animal can outrun a gun, or even a bow and arrow.
Right.
But they got a pretty good chance of getting away if you got a trained hawk coming after you,
Right.
And so, when we're out hunting, we go after 10 small animals for food. We might catch one.
Really?
But it's a lot of fun running through the woods, chasing a hawk that's working with you. That's part of your team, It's a lot of fun. So.
Because those are like eyes in the air. You got eyes in the air.
Oh yeah.
So what you don't see, the hawk sees for you.
And that's the way the birds work with me is I'm around the base of the tree down at the bottom.
Yeah.
But they're up in the top of the tree. So I can see up everything that they can't see from below, and they can see everything I can't see from above. And so, it's a good teamwork, although the hawks are way better than I am, because I'm just a human, when it comes to nature, man, we humans, we're pretty soft,
Yeah.
If it wasn't for our artificial world we've built around us, a lot of us couldn't survive.
I agree 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
And
I'm sitting in air conditioning right now and I'm loving it.
Me too. I got mine on too. But it's amazing to watch, because you're the first person I had on my show that actually deals with animals and train them. And that's fascinating to me, because I watched people like yourself on National Geographics, and I say to myself, man, how do these guys train these hawks, these eagles, these beautiful birds to fly, just go like this, and they already know what they need to do and come back with prey, and forget the prey, come back at all once you let them go.
Yeah, well, what they say, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it was meant to be.
Wow. Well, I guess my wife don't love me. I sent her off a year ago. She ain't been back yet.
Yeah. Well, and the falconry and the birds of prey are what got me into showbiz too, in the entertainment industry.
Right.
Back in 2006, 2007, Hollywood came to Shreveport, Louisiana. And I mean, all the big production companies came. Louisiana had big tax incentive,
Yes.
And the very first gig I got was that somebody wanted me to train an owl for a movie. And so they sent me a script and they sent me some sides, and they said, hey, can you make an owl do this, this, and this? And I came back and I said, almost. This is what we can do. And I'll tell them exactly what we can accomplish. And they were like, wow, that's great. Let's you're hired, you know? And so once I got on the set the very first time, man, I fell in love with a movie set. I'm going to tell you, I fell in love with camaraderie, the professionalism, the you know, everybody having a common goal of creating something, you know?
Yeah.
And so I started hustling the film sets. If I would get a job for a trainer, an animal trainer, or anything, I would start hustling the film sets, especially indie films, you know, or low budget production films, because they never have enough anybody and they always need more hands, you know.
More hands-on. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I learned real quick that man, just moving sandbags, people think you're golden. You know, they're like, they just think you're golden if you can pay attention and you got decent spatial awareness and you know what's fixing to happen next, or you can see that they need something and you get it done, man. That led to me developing relationships with a lot of directors and producers, you know, and anymore, I mean, I don't even hardly audition anymore. I mean, it's just mostly just people asking me, and you know, I've got 60 feature films under my belt.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, you made me feel real small right there. I've only got 3 films that I've done, but you know, like you said, it's fun, and I'm the type of guy that when I go there, when I get a gig, I just don't go there to act and just sit there and wait for my part. I get involved. I want to help the producer. You know, I want to help the director. Is there anything that needs to be done? You need to move something around. Does the cast need food? Like, what can I do to help? And, you know, that right there does a lot for you. When they see you doing extra stuff to help out, they like that in a production team. You know, you're willing to do other things that you're not asked to do, and you're willing to do it. That's a go.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely a go. So when you did your first film, and wait a minute, how hard is it to get a script and say, I need you to train this bear or this owl to do, like you said, whatever it needed to be done? How long does it take you to train an animal to play in a film?
So as long as it's easy things like making an animal go from point A to point B, or making an animal do a static pose, you know, those types of things, 30 days, if I get the script 30 days ahead of time, I can pretty much have it ready to go. If it's more complex and I need the animal to do habitual patterns, then, you know, I need at least 90 days.
Right.
And so, but still, you know, and a lot of times they'll send me a script or they'll send me some sides and I'll go through it and I'll know, and I'll look at how much time we have, how much budget they have. And I'll offer them some suggestion on what we can do to make it happen, you know, or, you know, what the animal will do naturally, so that it looks really good for the project.
Right.
And so we always have some script changes, you know, what's new, right?
Right. You know, so working in the field that you're working in, the professional field that you're working as, you know, wildlife, what has been like the most scariest moment you had training an animal? Did any animal try to attack you, or, you know, did you have to go to any wildfires where you had to rescue some of these animals?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. If you watch any of my stuff, there's 2 things: is I'm not afraid to die, and I don't participate in pain, you know?
Okay.
And so, you know, with those 2 concepts, I don't know that I've ever been scared, but, or afraid. And you know, I've worked with just about everything. I have not worked with bears or mountain lions, but, you know, we've worked alligators and everything to zebras and everything in between, and all birds of prey, you know, all species of birds of prey. But, you know, I've been in some situations where I was worried about myself with the people around me.
People are more dangerous than the animals are. I agree.
Yeah, I've been in some situations where the people that I was associating with was probably the biggest problem in the room, you know.
I get it.
So
I understand it completely.
yeah, that's it, man. Humans are scary. You
Yeah,
know?
we are. A lot of us are. So training, because the alligator, that's a wild animal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think it has a brain to think to know, hey, I'm not supposed to do this. So how do you train? Like, what type of scripts do you get, or to train an alligator to be in a film? Like, what do you do to train
Like,
an alligator?
well, you take the alligator. That's actually the easiest of all of them. You
Really?
know? Yeah, because people don't expect an alligator to do much. You
Right.
know, they need an alligator for some fear factor or some cool factor or some malicious intent. And so they really don't expect an alligator to pull a character. They expect an alligator to be an alligator, and
Right.
alligators do that really well. You know,
Right. They do.
all you have to know as a trainer, a wildlife trainer, is what will the animal do in any particular scenario or given situation. And so I usually try to get the animal to operate within its natural range of motion and do what it does, you
Right.
know. And so, you need 30 seconds of an alligator submerging in water. Okay, well, that's pretty easy. Push
Right.
record, we'll make it happen.
Right.
And then you'll be amazed too. A lot of stuff that I do, they're not filming it with the 4K or now the 8K or
Right.
the red helium or any of that stuff.
Yeah, the
It's
magic,
most of the
black
stuff that they
magic,
need
the
from me
red.
is on GoPro 4Ks, with GoPros underwater and
Right.
in weird situations.
Yeah.
And so they stitch all that film footage in to look the way they need it to look. So a lot of the training I do really is understanding the animal and getting it to do what it would do, what it will do naturally, so that it's predictable, so that you can actually catch it on film.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And how many people do you have under your company besides you?
So with the company itself, we've got 17 people
Oh,
that
wow.
that work with me. We mostly have headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri, but I've got offshoot offices like Little Rock, Arkansas, and Kansas City, Kansas, and Edwardsville, Illinois, and we're looking real hard at Atlanta, Georgia right now. Some
Right.
different places to expand to.
Right. That's great. So
Mhm.
do you guys collect like wounded animals?
Yeah,
Do people bring wounded animals to you?
yeah,
And
we do a lot of rescue work.
okay.
So here in St. Louis area, St. Louis, Missouri, we have contracts with 3 counties. So an animal gets hit on the road by a car, comes in an accident, we come out and we respond to that stuff, you
Okay.
know, and the county pays us to come out and make sure that, the animal's dealt with properly.
Right.
If it can be saved, if it can be rehabilitated,
Yeah.
so we work with that. And then we've got a nonprofit that's called Raptor Rescue Inc. And
Yeah.
with that, we primarily focus on birds of prey, raptors, the eagles, the hawks, the falcons, and the owls. Don't forget them. But anybody calls that number and needs some assistance, we're going to help.
Okay.
So, and
That's
we've
great.
got some of our bigger snakes. If you look on my Facebook page, I just posted a
Yeah.
few pictures and stories, reels of some photo shoots that we did recently. We do a lot of that kind of thing. I, as well as act, I model, and so
Okay.
we've got and a couple of the other people that work with me, they model too as well.
Mm.
And so we work all the fashion shows and the modeling shows and the pictorials and all those types of things in the St. Louis area. If they need a snake or they need an animal or an owl or a hawk, they know who to call. So
Okay. That's interesting you say that, because I have a friend of mine that he breeds snakes, pythons. He
yeah,
breeds pythons. He got, you name it, he got it. Colors, he got this beautiful one. It's like yellow and white. And
Oh, nice.
he got an albino one.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And he ships them, he sells them. He got his own company. He ships them out to different people that want to buy the pythons and stuff. And I said to him, man, would you ever, use some of these for a film? And he said, sure, if they need it, if they want snakes, yeah, I got snakes, to bring on set. I'm scared of snakes. I'm scared of snakes and mouses, but I ain't scared of big animals like bears and coyotes. Like I would stand there and try to communicate. But
There you go.
snakes and small things, I'm out of there.
So tarantulas, scorpions, no?
Yeah, no, none of those things.
Okay.
No, nothing small. Everything got to be big where I can see.
I got you. We know the big black scorpions is probably the animal that works the most. I get the most calls for is the big scorpions.
The black ones, right?
Yeah. I've got a bunch of really big black ones, beefy guys.
Wow, huh?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So tell me about your reality show. You have a reality show as well.
Yeah. So and we're always hustling that project, those kind of projects too,
Okay.
Yeah. So Discovery Plus has our reality show parked right now. It's called Bare Hands Rescue, just like the name right there. It ran on Animal Planet for about 3 months, which I think is a normal programming spree, but we're also looking at taking the concept itself in my company, and we're talking with a network right now in Las Vegas, that's based out of Las Vegas, that we're probably going to launch a new reality show on, one that we control.
Yes, it's always good to control your own thing.
Oh yeah. People want you to do some kooky things, some silly stuff.
Right. So talking about what you do, and knowing that you're animal rescuer, and you obviously you love animals. Have you ever thought of directing or shooting a movie with all the animals that you have, and like create?
Oh, well, yeah, I'll tell you, everybody has their thing too. And I mean, I'm all about the creative process, and we do have a feature film that's laid out. We're just waiting for the timing to be correct. I've filmed a couple of shorts, that were very successful. My preferred genre is zombie and apocalypse stuff. Biological zombies, man.
You
Love
talking my
that
language now.
apocalyptic feel of things. And our my short film Zombie Resurrection, I think the thing won like 63 awards in the film circuit, and was really well received.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Zombie Resurrection.
It's 18 minutes, but it definitely takes you in a weird, different than you expect. And I think that's what people like, because it takes the genre and it takes it in a different direction that no one's gone yet with.
Right. And that's what I love about films.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When you're watching something that you ain't watched, or stuff that you don't believe that could happens on a film, and that's what catches me when I watch like Discovery channels, and I'm watching the animals, and all I know is what I hear through people talking about. When I actually see Discovery and they explaining what this animal does and can do, but like, holy crap, I didn't know this animal can do this.
Yeah.
So watching films with animals, I adore it.
Yeah, we've got one where we've got a trained possum that's a zombie. It's a zombie possum, and it's bad news, man.
I can imagine.
It's bad news. And possums are unique looking enough, but when after we get one through hair and makeup, it looks really good. It looks
Really? I would
good.
have to see that. I got to see that. I got to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that,
That's
Michael.
that's one we're working on right now. It's got we'll be distributing that probably next year, I imagine. You know, I don't know. I I'm one of those people that I can wait for a good opportunity, you know,
Yes. Yeah,
and
patience is always good.
yeah, and so we've got two films that we're ready to go with, but we're just waiting for the right opportunities. You know, it's a couple of things to line up. In the meantime, I got plenty of other projects uh, that I'm working with and working on. Um, got one coming up this summer that we're going to film that I'm super excited about.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, I certainly like the swashbuckling pirates, you know, and
Man.
there's we're going to be filming a pirate movie called Cursed
Oh,
Waters.
wow. Oh, I
Cursed,
know Curse. I know a couple people that are going to be in that film.
yeah, yeah,
That's amazing. Did you
yeah.
say Curves Waters? My friend Kimberly Chambers just got a role
Oh,
there.
okay,
So did my brother Riley Shave. He got a part in that film, and
nice.
I believe my brother Warren is playing in that film. And now you saying you, oh, that's amazing. I can't wait. There's so
Yeah,
many people I know in this film.
yeah. It's a good film. It's definitely got the most buzz of anything that I've been involved with recently. You know,
Okay.
um, the Mahal brothers have been able to secure two Spanish galleons off the coast of Los Angeles,
Oh wow.
and so we're going to be like actually filming on a live ship. You know,
Wow, that's
uh,
gonna be crazy,
it's going to be
crazy
good.
dope.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is.
You know.
And you know, I know a lot of the stunt actors. I'm a stunt actor myself, and so we'll be
Okay.
doing a lot of our own stunts. But the Las Vegas Stunt Academy is going to be sending quite a few people over
Oh,
to
okay.
work on that project, and especially the boarding sequence from the British ship to the pirate ship. You know,
Wow.
so
I can't listen. If you ever need an actor to run from animals, I'm your guy. Okay. If you
yeah,
ever need some
yeah.
a
Where
hood,
where
someone run from animals, I'm your guy.
where are you physically located? You're East
Uh,
Coast, right?
yes, I'm in Boston, but
Austin.
I'm in Boston, but
Yeah.
I'm the kind of individual that when I'm given an opportunity, I make things happen. I go out of my way to come out and be a part of a great production team
Well,
because I am an actor. I'm upcoming, so I try to get in everything I can get. I'm not picky. I'm fine with a lead role, just like I'm fine with being a extra or a background or an assistant, actor. I'm okay with anything. My thing is to have an opportunity to be seen in film, and kind of watch myself to see how where I can be better,
mhm. Yeah, yeah.
and build my ability of being an actor better. So,
Yeah, well, it's important to watch and analyze yourself, you
yes,
know, because you
yes,
always want to grow, you know.
yes. You
Yeah.
definitely want to
If
grow.
any of us were great already as we were, well, we'd be A-listers, right?
Yes, yes. So,
So, you know,
doing what I
I've
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I've been doing film since 2006, but you know, I didn't take acting classes till 2018, you know.
Wow. Right.
I was in the industry for almost 12 years before I was like, you know, maybe I could get better at doing some things and get some better parts, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
A lot of it has to do with remembering scripts to get those big roles because I think that's the biggest challenge for someone like myself that might get picked for a lead role but don't have that much experience. And here you come with with a script that big, and I'm in the whole damn script, and I'm like, I'm not gonna remember all. I won't be able to remember it. You
Well,
know,
I mean, I always approach it one scene at a
a
time,
time. Yes, that's
and
what I would do.
I mean, I read the whole script and I'll do table reads and stuff like that. But when it comes down to film day, I'm just worried about this scene, you know.
Right.
And so I always keep some sides on by close by, and I always figure out. I always try to lasso one PA in to throw me lines, you know, and I don't have a great photographic memory that can just memorize long monologues, you know. I have to work at it, but I just approach it the one scene, you know, because you're going to rehearse it 2 or 3 times, and then you're going to shoot it 2 or 3 times, and by then, now I know it.
Yeah,
You know?
right. I tried my best to try to get it on the first take, you know, but sometimes, you know, it don't happen that way.
I don't know any director that's going to accept the first take. They're going
Right.
to they'll do 2 or 3 rehearsals, you know, they'll run it 2 or 3 times, and they're going to shoot it 2 or 3 times at a minimum.
Right,
You know?
right.
Yeah,
So
there's very few one and dones. Even if it was perfect, they're still going. There's
one,
let's do it a little differently, or let's do this, or let's do one more for safety. You know?
Exactly.
How many times have I heard that? All right, one
Right.
more for safety.
One more safety.
Yeah.
And you know, listen, I love it. I love once I was introduced to acting, there was no coming back. And I was always told, man, you got that look, you got something about you for the camera, you're cameragetic. I said, okay, well, let me try podcast first.
Yeah.
Let me try the podcast and see how that goes, you know, and then I get into filming. But when I got my first shot, you know, I played as a gangster and it went well. You know, I fit the character the way they wanted to, and it just went from there. And, you know, I've been getting gigs here and there. David J. Paul, you know, David J. Paul, he's given me some great opportunities. Cody, also another guy that's shooting The Crow out in Baltimore, gave me an opportunity. So I'm taking these opportunities and running with them. But the fact that we're all together, we're all trying to work, we're all working together as a team to create beautiful things so people can watch, including our families. You know, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And I learned, you know, you as being working with animals, you know, now I'm learning stuff that I didn't know. I didn't know how you train a hawk and how you make it come back. How does it come back?
Well, first off, you don't make it come back.
Oh, okay.
It does have that free will, you know. If it wanted to go, if it wants to go on, and it will. You know, I've never had one. You know, I've been doing this for what 20 years now, 21 years, and I've never had one just fly off. You know, they're pretty smart and they have survival instincts, and you know, you provide a good positive environment for them where they're getting all their needs met, you know, then they'll stick around, they'll stick with you, you know. So but it's definitely positive reward, you know. The reality of it is you brainwash them a little bit, you know. But mostly it's like they recognize the relationship has positive attributes that makes it easier for them to survive, and they are survivalists, you know. And so they will learn to use you as their source of comfort, of accommodation, of food, you know, and care. And so they learn really, really quick that if they stick with you, then they're going to get fed every day. They're going to have a nice warm place to sleep every night, and they're going to be kept safe from outside predators, you know. And so.
And the loyalty. What about the loyalty to you?
Oh yeah, birds? Well, it certainly I think is a perceived loyalty. You know, they're not so much loyal to you, but they're loyal to what you provide for them. You know, and so you know it is a perceived thing. You know, it seems like they're being loyal to you as a human. That's what we want to think. But it's really the environment within that you're keeping them in. That's what they become very loyal to. And so if you're treating them right, and if you're providing everything that they need, then they're going to stay with you. And because when you turn one loose, I mean, you're turning a wild hawk loose in the wild, you know, you better have some strong ties developed, you know.
I bet.
But that's what it boils down to is you know, providing them with a environment that they want to stay.
Right. Because it's so easy for them to sidetrack when they're in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
And
like
they
you
do.
said, yeah, because there's things that you can't see that they can see. They see the world from up
Right.
there. We
Right.
can't
Right.
see that. So when you have a trained hawk or whatever eagle, and you have them in your hand, and you want them to do a specific thing, and you let him loose, and he flies. He sees a rabbit. That's not what you sent him to go get. Have you had that before where they sidetracked and went somewhere else and grabbed
Oh,
something that there was
oh,
a
sure, sure.
yeah.
I also use the birds in my industry too.
Okay.
Like I've got one of my divisions is called Avian Strike Force, where we train hawks to remove pigeons from commercial buildings.
Oh wow.
And so we are always in that environment, we're always getting sidetracked because I'm like wanting him to go after the pigeon, but he sees a squirrel in the park 100 yards away, you know, and
Yeah.
whatever's moving the fastest or bouncing the bounciest, that's what they go after,
Right.
um, out in the woods when you're hunting, we are out to gather food, you know. I'm going to eat a portion of whatever they catch. They're going to eat most of what they catch. And so, if they check, because we call it checking off, if they check off of the squirrel you're after because they see a rabbit, and rabbits are easier to catch,
Right.
then you just go with the flow, and you go help the hawk with the rabbit,
Right. Wow.
So.
This is I'm loving this. I'm gonna have to come out one time out there just to see you in action, and record it, because I love, as long as you don't put me in the swamp where the alligators at, Michael, we good. Okay, because I'm a city boy.
Here in St. Louis, we don't have too many swamps, so you're safe.
Okay, because I'm a city boy. I barely see swamps and anything of that type. Eagles, I see the hawks when they fly by the house, but
yeah,
it's rare to see one in close, unless you're driving in the highway and they sitting on top of the light, and you can tell because they're about this big. They're about at least 2 feet high.
Yeah. It is, and you're right. You don't see them out in the wild too often, mostly because they're hunting and they blend in so well.
Yes, they do.
When they are on a power pole, they're much easier to identify. But you take that same color pattern that they have and you put it in the woods, and they disappear.
Yeah, you won't see them. You won't
see
them.
I actually, even my own birds, I actually take a specially designed bell. It's a falconry bell. And I attach it to their tail so that when they're in the top of the trees and I can't see exactly where they are, they're shaking that tail and I can hear.
You can hear it. That's a great idea.
And we also sometimes put a bell on their anklet.
Yeah.
So that if they're on the ground, like if they're on a rabbit in a bunch of brush, you can tell exactly where they are by where the sound's coming from, and then you can eventually see them. But they blend in so well.
Right.
Like that natural camouflage is just top notch.
It is. It is something else.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about putting like GPSs on their legs?
Yeah. Well, we have GPS. We have GPS units. Yeah, those are available through Marshall telemetry.
Okay.
They have a GPS unit but it goes on their back. It's like a little backpack. It goes on their back so that they can fly and it doesn't interfere with them. But you carry a pocket link that links up with the GPS unit, and the pocket link links up to the satellite. And so you can look on your iPad or your iPhone real time, and you can see exactly where the bird is, like within 2 feet.
Oh wow, that's great.
So it works really well. It's got an 8-hour battery life on it. So
right.
And then you can also turn it to 24-hour battery life if you turn it to where it only beeps or pings every 3 or 4 seconds instead of every couple of microseconds like it does.
Right. So you direct movies as well? Do you direct movies, write scripts as well?
So I don't write scripts. I am not a writer. I always enlisted a lot of help in that department. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've done more in the line of I've only directed 2 movies, and both of those were shorts. but I've been a producer on multiple movies, where being a producer on the movie is the best of all the worlds, because you really are not responsible for any one thing. You're just
Right.
responsible for everything.
Everything.
You
That's
know,
right. Yeah.
and so it's being a producer is, you got a broader stroke, a broader paintbrush, and so you can catch a lot of different skill sets, and work with a lot of different skill sets. And I think really that's the way to step into, um, if you're going to direct a movie, or if you're really going to do a movie, is to get into the line of producing, work your way in, um, so that you're catching multiple avenues and multiple aspects, from sound to lighting to, electricity to locations, you know, working with the actors and the camera and everything. When you're part of the production team, then you learn all those different skill sets, and
Yes.
you learn all those different positions. Then whenever you go to direct a film, it gives you a better understanding of everybody that you need on your team.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I was, and that's what I was talking about earlier when I said that I love to be everywhere. I love to be behind the camera, watch the director, the angles, everything that he's doing, the producer, what the producer's doing, because I want to do that in the future. I want to be able to produce and direct. Um, I just got, spoke to one of my good friends, and they're giving me an opportunity to be an AD,
Mm.
assistant director.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and
Jump
and
in
and,
there.
and yeah, I'm jumping in because sometimes as assistant director, you see things different from the director. You might say, you know what, that's good, but let's try this. Let's add this to it. It might give it an extra boost, and it might make it look a little better. And I'm so creative in that way. That's why I think I'll be a good director someday, or um, assistant director, because I'm very creative when it comes to shooting something. The director might see it in two ways. I see it three or four ways that could be shot. And it might be even better than the other two. So um, I'm glad I got this opportunity to work on this project coming up soon, to be a assistant director with the director. So we're gonna have a meeting. We're gonna talk about it. I want to get to know the director so we can have that communication, and um, and me being able to be assist her as a director on a film.
Yeah. Yep. Well, the first and second AD, man, they're critical on a set. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So and
Especially making sure that the scenes get shot on time.
yes, definitely that. And
Moving moving people along and getting people to actually push the record button.
yeah.
You know?
Hey, Dave, how you doing? Dave's here. Santa David's here. Um, what's going on? So so you've been in this for a long time. You know the in and outs of it. If you had to do another film, right? What would that film be about?
Um, do you mean if I directing?
Yes, if you was to
Oh,
direct
yeah.
a
Well,
film.
I can tell you what the next one is going to be about.
Okay, well, let me know because I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know if
Uh,
I have to run, jump, fly,
no,
or
man. No, man. So working title is RP Saviors, and RP stand for rabid people, you know,
people.
rabid people. And so, it's a post-apocalyptic film, but it's well into the post-apocalypse rebuilding stage after everything's gone to shit, and most of the people have died, and the world is trying to figure out how do we function with so few people, you know. How do we make this thing work? How do we move this? How do we move forward as a society?
Right.
And you know, there are these creatures that are zombie like,
Mhm.
and they're just you and me, you know, because there's a mutated virus that's carrying a host bacteria,
Yeah.
and there's a cure. You know,
Mm.
that's the thing, is that there's a cure, and the government really figured out how to do something well, but they just have no way of administering it. And so we're going to take our company, you know, Wildlife Command Center, and we're going to feature it in this film. And instead of catching raccoons, we're going to catch your loved ones, the RPs, the rabid people. We're going to convert them and we're going to give them back to you. And so it's the same principle that I do with people's homes right now. You know, wildlife inhabits their home or intrudes in their home, and now they can't use their home the way they want to. They don't feel safe in their own home, and so they need somebody to come in and capture the animal and then fix it and then give them their home back. You know, and so that's what I do every day. And so for our next feature film, we're going to take that same concept, except it's your little 8-year-old daughter that has become a rabid person. And what are you going to do? Because you can't do anything.
Oh, wow.
You know?
I can't wait. I can't wait for this, boy. I'm excited, Michael. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, you're gonna have to call me. So and there's gonna be a lot of stunt work in it.
Yes.
It's gonna be on the easy spectrum of films, because we're gonna be cutting out a lot. I mean, we're gonna be filming a lot very quickly, you know, and so we're gonna cut a 10-hour day. And we're going to film three separate scenes, and we're going to have morning scenes, afternoon scenes, and evening scenes. And it's going to be good. And it's going to come together really, really fast, because the edit on it's going to be super easy the way we're going to film this. You know.
Oh, that's and where are you filming?
So right now we've got locations. A lot of our main locations are in St. Louis. And we're kind of waiting. Missouri just got a tax film incentive, tax incentive passed through the Senate and the House, and so we're waiting really for that to be put in place. But we also have a couple of locations in Las Vegas that we're going to film. Nelson's Ghost Town is going to be one of those. I filmed a couple of films there, and it's awesome, man. It's got every possible scenario scene you can think of if you want something ghost town, you know, or spooky or creepy, you know, post-apocalyptic. They've got it. And then we got one location in Phoenix, Arizona, that we've got locked down that we're going to film.
That's amazing. You know, and like I know a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot, but I know some people in Vegas, you know, because we did shoot in Red Mountains, the Red Mountains in Vegas, where all the big, you know what it is, the rocks and stuff.
The Red Canyons. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the Red Canyons. Exactly. Yes, that's where we were shooting this horror film that we shot. And Nicole Vegas, she produced it. She's out of Vegas. Sean Phillips is from California.
I know Sean. I've worked with him on a couple of projects.
With Sean. Sean is an amazing guy. I love Sean. You know, he was the one that gave me my opportunity for an assistant actor role. So, you know, big shout out to Sean C. Phillips. So see what I'm saying? It's a small circle. Everybody kind of knows everybody.
Yeah, it really is, you know. And also, you know, when you're on a film set, you develop friendships and connections very, very quickly, because you both have a common goal, and you're putting everything into it. And, you know, everybody's always vulnerable on a set, you know, because to be able to make and create real art, you know, everybody has to like lower the facades and work with reality and who you really are, because it's going to come out, especially if there's any kind of stress or pressure, you know. And so you develop bonds very quickly. I mean, you know, that's why I like doing a film, and develop all the bonds, and then you go through the whole edit process. But then you come back to the premiere, and you all show up at the premiere, and it's like you never were apart. You know, you just jump right back into those relationships. You jump right back into the same conversations. You know, you jump right back into, you know, all that warm and fuzzy that you got when you were working on set.
Right.
You know?
and you get to know, and you also find out if there's other projects going on.
Oh yes,
You know, and if
absolutely.
people say, you know what, I got this project, I'm gonna talk to the director. I think you fit good on this role, or you know, you might be able to get into this other project. So that's what I love about the premieres and just going to, you know, to different locations when I'm invited to, because you never know who's gonna bring that next job for you, you know, that next film for you. And like I said, I love it. I love filming. I do whatever it takes to make things happen or to bring my character out. I would love to play uh, a lot of characters, as long as I don't have to wear a dress or, you know, I'm all fine with anything about a dress. I'm all cool with that. But, you know, overall, man, I pretty much will play anything. Um, because I want to challenge myself. You know, I want to be able to play different characters and see myself play these characters. Because sometimes you say, "Man, I can't play this character. I would never know." And then you play it, and then you see yourself doing it. You be like, "Holy crap! I didn't know I was that good." You know, let me pat myself on. I didn't know I was that good. You know,
Yeah.
so the challenge to me has always been something that I love, the challenge, you know. So I can't wait to see your film and, you know, to see what else you come up with. I'm definitely going to check out the your website and see what else you got going on.
Yeah. Well, we've got a very robust YouTube channel. We put all of our rescue videos on our YouTube channel. You know, we just hit 78,000 subscribers. We gain
Awesome.
about two to 300 subscribers a day.
Ooh.
And yeah, we're currently we just hit 21 million views, you know, on the site. We got multiple videos on there that have gone over 1 million views. So it's interesting stuff, you know.
Yeah.
On a day-to-day basis, we have about 100,000 views on the YouTube channel.
Awesome.
And people like watching, you know, the animals, and they like watching, you know, how we rescue them
Yes,
and
I do.
the trouble we go through to get to an
Yes.
animal, to get it to
Yes.
safety, to get it medical help, or whatever needs to happen. You know, I just posted a Facebook reel on my Facebook page. I mean, that thing went 24,000 views right away, and I'm just rescuing a water snake out in the pond.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, they got
Yeah.
tangled up in a bunch of netting, you know, and but people like that stuff, you know. Most people have good intentions for most animals, you know,
Yeah.
except
Yeah.
for, you know, cows and pigs, you know, hamburgers and bacon, you know, they're the exception to the
We
rule.
are so cruel. We need to find something else to do.
Nah. But anyway, you know, it's really interesting, and I do have a link tree that's easy to find on my YouTube channel, Wildlife Command Center. I've got a movie up right now that's that just went free on Tubi. It was on Amazon Prime and
Okay,
and Netflix.
what's the name of it? I want to check it out.
It's called, and it's probably one of my best leads yet. But it's called The Night of the Tommyknockers.
The Night.
The Night of the Tommyknockers. It's a Western horror set in
Tommy
1861.
Knockers. Wait, I think I saw that on Tubi when I was.
It is on Tubi.
I watch Tubi.
Yeah.
That's all I do all day. Is
It's on
watch
Tubi.
Tubi because I see a lot of you guys on certain movies, and I just sit there and see the way you guys perform, and I love it. But I think
Yeah.
I think I skipped by that to see another film because I remember the name. I remember the name, but now that you did it, I'm definitely going to go in there and check it out.
Hey, you just got Jarrell. He just jumped in the chat, you know.
Jarrell Pickle Johnson.
I was just in a short film with that he just directed, you know.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for logging in, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, The Night of the Tommyknockers, it just got listed free on Tubi, so you can watch that. I play the main bounty hunter in that, Tobin Horn. So I got a lot of equestrian work on it. It's funny because the gang, the Dirk gang, the level of fear that they have from the bounty hunter makes the monsters seem not so bad, you know. Like, they're more worried about me than they are the monsters. So
That's
it's pretty cool.
that's funny.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's a good one.
I did.
And like I said, everybody can go watch that for free. And then Wednesday nights we do a live on our YouTube channel, and we always do. It's kind of like a fun, goofy, educational live. You know, we're always bringing a few animals on, and we're going through some animal facts. But we also spend time with the audience. You know,
Right.
I try to limit it to an hour, but we always go an hour and a half, an hour 45 minutes because we let the audience in. You know,
Yes.
and they always have good questions.
Question.
You know,
Yes,
they
yes.
always
Like, yeah, and that's the amazing thing about it. Dealing with that. Like I said, I'm an animal, and I love to learn things about animals, all the time, because you see an animal and you know very little of it, but when you're being educated from someone that's been around animals so much, you find out things that you don't even know about the animal. And
yeah
and I love that, the fact that certain animals can do certain thing, like I forgot what its name. It's like a lizard that camouflages itself, got like 20 different colors.
yeah
You know,
chameleon.
the
Yeah,
chameleon. That's an
yeah,
amazing animal.
yeah. It is. They are they are the masters of camouflage. That's for sure.
Yes,
The
that
veiled
is.
chameleon and the panther chameleon, especially. You know, they
Have you ever caught or seen the dragon?
the Komodo dragon. No,
Yes,
no.
I've seen it on Discovery. That animal is a strong animal,
Oh yeah,
and I seen them catching the prey,
yeah.
and it ate it with everything, and like head, fur, like it wasn't spitting nothing out, and I don't know how fast they walk, but that one looked real. I think a turtle would have beat it in a race. It was so
Well,
slow.
yeah, but they can run fast. So alligators are bigger than Komodo dragons, but
Right.
Komodo dragon and alligators have more teeth and more bite power.
Yeah.
But Komodo dragons can run and climb and swim. Where alligators just not going to do that.
Right.
Um, but people definitely need to be afraid of the Komodo dragon because that thing can run. I mean, it can
Right.
run fast too. And
Yes.
so you can't get away. I mean, you can climb a tree, but it's going to climb a tree too. You know,
Mm. Well,
you
what
can
I
jump
heard,
in the water, but it's going to swim too.
right? What I've heard from alligators is they're fast if they're running straight. You
Right.
know, if
Yeah.
you
They got no,
zigzag, then they
yeah.
start to slow down because they can't move like that.
They like rhinoceroses. They can't corner too well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing. Jarrell wants to know what my favorite animal to catch is.
Yes.
you
Yes.
know and I got to tell you, it's all the snake species. I mean, that's my favorite
Snake.
animal to get out there. Of all the animals, I seek out different kinds of snakes, especially venomous snakes.
Mm.
I like all the different species of rattlesnakes we have, especially when you get over around Arizona and Utah. you
Mm.
know they've got some really beautiful rattlesnakes there. They got the green Mojave rattlesnake, and they got the white speculated rattlesnake, and both of those beautiful animals. But
Right.
yeah, definitely, for the show and for Facebook reels, catching snakes, that's the best. That gives me the biggest return, but it's also a lot of fun,
Mm.
because I can catch them barehanded
Oh well,
without getting bit,
I
you
don't know what
know
the fun is in that, but
and
okay.
people are like, what are you
Yeah,
doing? you know
that's crazy. Do you know John Poash? Because he's also into snakes, and he's
yeah
out of he works a lot in Arizona, I believe Vegas.
yeah
I think you guys together will be great because I mean you
Maybe we
guys are
need to
both into you
we need to
guys are
do a
I
collaborative video of some sort.
yeah, you guys are in the same field. You know, he deals with rattlesnakes and animals as well, kind of like what you do. It'll be good to connect you two together and see what you guys can come up with. He's also an actor. He was in the movie Desert Fiends with myself
Mm,
out in Las Vegas, and that's how I met Mr. John Poash, and he came on the show, and he's an amazing guy, man. He's laid back, cool, kind of like you, awesome guy. loves animals, but his biggest things is rattlesnakes. He's a professional in that, and he does like you do, like kind of he started like you did too. He was dealing with snakes, and they called him in to do a movie, and he brought his snakes in, and after that, it was a wrap. He was called in for certain things and asked him to be part of the film, and he's been acting ever since.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different ways to get into this industry. That's a great one.
Right.
Yeah, Darrell agrees that we should definitely connect us so that we can do a collaborative video together.
Yes, I will definitely. I'll be glad to do that. Connect you with
Yeah, that'd be
John.
cool.
With John,
And I'll usually fly out to people, wherever people
okay.
are working, I'll fly out and bring my crew with me,
Okay. Well, definitely. I'm gonna definitely talk to John, and I'm gonna tell him about you and see if I can connect you guys, and you guys can come up with something. I would love to see the results.
That'd be really cool.
So tell me about that. Tell me about that backdrop you have back there, because I see.
We definitely we're on Discovery Plus. That's where the reality show's parked at. We did a run on Animal Planet. Michael Francis, good friend of mine, he runs Michael Francis Presents, and he puts together all types of reality proofs of concept and puts shows together. He is the biggest reason that we got the rescue on Discovery Plus, Bare Hands Rescue. And then there's my company, Wildlife Command Center. This is the logo for the movie animals that we do. But we rescue people from wild animals. We rescue people from insects. We rescue animals that have been injured by people. And then we help corporations and industries that have bird problems, specifically pigeons, mostly, but European starlings and European house sparrows. And so, that's my backdrop. I take that when I do Comic-Cons and stuff like that as Bare Hands Baren. Just kind of tells the story of where we are right now.
Right. So it's safe. Anyone wanted to be a part of that team. If anyone wanted to be a part of wildlife, is there a specific thing that they need to have or do to be a part of this amazing team that you got together?
If you want to get involved in rescue, there's always some nonprofits close by that need help and volunteers. That's the best way to get started, is to go local, find a rescue that's local and just start volunteering with them, and then just start learning, how they do it. We open up chapters of Raptor Rescue Inc. Usually it's falconers that come to us and say, hey, look, I don't have a company, or I don't have anyone in my area that's out there doing the rescue. Can we open a chapter of Raptor Rescue in my town?
Right.
And that doesn't cost me any money. The people that want to do that usually generate the funds to do that. Right. And so we'll open up a chapter, and we just teach them kind of like the organizational way, how we get on social media, how we get on the internet, how we're networking,
how to get sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah, and how we get out there and get our name known, so that when somebody does have a bird that needs help, they know how to get a hold of us quickly.
Right.
So
how do you say I called you, say, Michael, I got a bird here, and seemed like his leg he's limping. You guys come out and help grab the bird and help the bird out?
Yeah, so we'll come out and capture it. That's always the first step, is capturing it. Correct. Especially when one can fly, and learn and knowing the tricks to capture one without getting hurt and without hurting the bird. And then assessing the injury and figuring out where it needs to go for medical help,
Right.
Or does it just need the medical help that I'm certified to deliver? So we figure that out, and then we provide the transportation to get it to where it needs to go. And then we provide the transportation for that animal in every step, every stage it needs to go through till it's turned loose in the wild again, And so that's what we specialize in, is showing up, capturing the animal, evaluating what injuries are, providing first aid, injury stabilization, and then providing all the transportation and handling it needs between all of its stages. Because in the industry, what we found is that there are good veterinarians and there are good people to rehabilitate the animals. And then there are good people that will release them, but none of them have transportation to and from each other. You know, and so when we rescue a bird of prey, we are there for that bird every time it needs to be moved from one location to the next location, or when it needs to be taken out to the wild and transported where the release site's going to be.
Wow. Yeah. You know, I've always wanted to be, I'm a big fan of Discovery Channel because I love animals. Yeah. And I said to I would love to be a part of an organization to be able to do this and help the animals out, even though I'm scared of them because I didn't grow up around like you, Louisiana, where you're around alligators and you're around. I didn't grow up like that, but I'm always infatuated by the animals, the things that they can do, how powerful they are, and just getting knowledge on how each animal operates and moves. That's always been catchy to me, and I've always said, man, what organization can I at least assist to where I can be in front line watching things happen and how they capture it and what the process is to help an animal. Because I was driving the other day going to work and I'm driving and, you know, turkeys, there's a lot of turkeys out here. And I guess one of them got hit. One of them got hit. And when I was driving, like he was like on the side and I can see the bird limping, trying to catch up to the rest of the rest of the birds. And I said, man, I felt so bad. I said, man, how can I help this bird? You know, so I just kept driving, but it stayed in my head. I said, man, is this bird going to survive long enough? Or is there another, you know, animal that's going to see him limping and see an easy prey and kill it? So I've always been interested in this, and I'm gonna do what you said. I'm gonna see if I can find some people that work with animals and see if I can at least start volunteering and see where it leads me to, because I love to be I love to do what you do. And
in
other words,
definitely. You know, well, you can also you can you can also join, you know, if you go to our YouTube channel and you want to be part of Raptor Rescue Inc., we have a Patreon set up, you know, because like sometimes a lot of people just their day-to-day life just doesn't allow them to be able to get out there and get it done. But they can support an organization like mine through Patreon, Wildlife Command Center, and they get all the behind the scenes stuff. You know, they get to see the things that everybody doesn't get to see day to day. And they kind of feel like they're participating in the process, you know, along the way, because, you know, we're showing them what happens and how bad the injury is and some things that we can't show on YouTube, you know.
I love that.
So that people understand, you know, everything that goes on beyond the backside of it too, you know. So what has been your most,
well, you filmed a couple movies, but you've been in a lot of films. What film have you played in that you feel you're playing you?
Oh,
you're playing Michael. You're not playing me. You're not playing Al Pacino.
No, that's a great question. That's a great question, because we so there is a film that is looking for distribution right now that I did, to where when I showed some of my friends you know, the producer's cut, you know, just private little things, they're like, you didn't even act in that. You were just being you. And I was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Cool was that?
And I was like, yeah. So there's a movie that's in. We're looking for distribution for it right now. This is a movie that not only was I involved on the producer side, but I was also acting in it as a character, and I was also a creature in the movie. The movie is called Drone Down. And the precept of it, As a matter of fact, I think on YouTube you can catch the trailer is on YouTube right now. Drone Down, like DRONE DOWN, and so
Okay.
a lot of military things and a lot of government things are being privatized, and they're offering these services for private companies to come in and perform them. And so the National Forest in this movie, the National Forest has privatized the fire watches by using a company called Wildlife Command Center, and they go out and they run drones looking for forest fires.
Wow.
And these are the big high dollar $30,000, $40,000 drones.
Right. Yeah.
They can stay in the air for 8 hours. And then cover 1,000 miles.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so so anyway, I end up playing 7 different Sasquatch in this movie.
7, Michael.
7 different Sasquatch.
What?
One great thing about this film too is to be able to be a Sasquatch. I got this 300-pound suit that I put on, and I'm on 27-inch stilts at the same time. So the practical effects in the movie are awesome because I'm just so much bigger than a human,
Right.
The other thing that we found out while we were filming this movie is that a Sasquatch on stilts can run way faster than a human can. And so I had problems overrunning the actors, and we were up in Mount St. Charleston, just outside of Las Vegas, filming up there in the mountains. And man, I'm running across this uneven terrain through the forest, in this 300-pound suit, 27-inch stilts. And we had to adjust my speed because I could, with those 27-inch stilts, I could just run faster than a person can run.
Yeah, but that's what they say, that the Bigfoot does run faster than a human because the leg length is the steps are much longer than a human.
Practical effects. I understand why now,
Yeah.
But I also play Chief Lopez, and Chief Lopez is in charge of the drone operation, and I actually wear this uniform that I have on right here.
I love it. I was going to ask you about that.
Wildlife Command Center, the whole uniform. And I literally have a different name, but I just play myself, I'm just getting on to them, trying to question them, what's going on. I'm asking them questions, you saw what out there,
Yeah.
And so it turns out that it's a troop of Sasquatch, and one of the rangers makes the mistake of actually shooting and killing one of the young Sasquatch. So now everybody's in jeopardy because Sasquatch are not happy and they're not peace loving anymore. And there's some blood and guts.
Oh my goodness. So, my favorite part, the bloods and guts.
Yeah. So it's good. But anyway, it's in distribution right now. The final edit on it and the music and the sound is incredible. That's top notch on the editing. And a lot of Las Vegas locals were involved in that project, and so I can't wait for the premiere of it and also the release because it's a great film. Film.
Right. I want to see it. I definitely want to see it. Once you get it out, let me know so I can go watch it.
Yeah, definitely will.
And you can always come back to the show. We can talk about the movie. And let people know, let the viewers know that it's out where they can go watch it. And
that'd be good. We got one other really good one coming out that I had a really good part in. Again, I like post-apocalyptic stuff. And so we filmed a movie that's called Arena Wars, and it was filmed down in Las Vegas. And I play the CFO of the company, and so I'm the right-hand man to the main character, the CEO of the company. And the movie turned out really, really well, even though I only had 12 pages of dialogue in the movie. My body language and my facial and eye movements really carry the character.
Oh,
it's amazing because when I watched the final producer's cut, I was like, wow, I didn't have that many lines in the movie, but I'm in every scene, and it's what I'm doing, what I'm looking at, the nods I give, the affirmations I give that really sell the character, you know.
Right. And
So,
I spoke about that prior to this, that
mhm,
acting is not just reading the script and going
mhm,
out and acting. Faces and face expression, eye expression, mouth expression, body movement, all
mhm,
that counts when you're in front of the camera, and you
mhm.
don't really have to say anything. Your body expression can say a lot of things just by the way you stand, the way you look at someone, the way you stare at someone.
Mhm.
That's a line itself right there.
It really is. It really
You
is.
know?
And it's a good tie over for many scenes, uh,
Yes.
especially if the scene's fairly flat or if it's very, very heavy dialogue. You know,
Right.
people people want to feel what you're trying to give them.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm glad you came to the show today because I've learned so much in the
I
little bit of
appreciate it.
time that we've been here, and I definitely want to keep in contact with you because I want to know more about your company, know more about what you do, behind the scenes because I love animals and anything that I can do to help out with animals, man, I'm there. Um, Even though, uh, some animals are treated better than humans.
Some,
Some,
some not. You know,
but
yeah,
snakes, even though I'm scared of snakes, you know, I love to see handlers handle snakes.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
because I think it's important for people to know, even if they're not from a swamp place or like Nashville or Florida, places like that where there's those type of Nevada, to know and to educate in case they come across an animal, you know, they at least have some type of knowledge of how to deal with it and know what to do when they encounter face to
Yeah.
face with an animal. And this is why I love to watch shows like yours and Discovery channels because you never know when you're going to end up in the woods or
Right.
you get stuck in the woods. And what's survival for a person like me that lives in the city, never lived in the woods? How am I going to survive? What can I eat? What I can't eat? What animals to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
it's
those are all good skill sets, and we like to cover that on all of our Wednesday night lives. You know, we like to
nice.
talk about a lot of that stuff, and just for that reason too, so that people have a general idea of what to fear and what not to fear. You know, and how do you survive in a practical environment like that?
Right. Or
Hmm.
say an example, you get bitten by a snake. What
Hmm.
are what are the processes that a person needs to do
Hmm.
before they get help, or how can they save
Hmm.
themselves or give themselves some more time to try to
Hmm.
get somewhere where they can get a dose for the
Hmm.
venom?
Hmm.
Those are things that um, are very important to know when you're in that type of environment. So let's say a person does get bitten by a snake. How
Hmm.
long do they have, and what can they do to slow down the venom from
Well,
going up?
Well, first off, let's just let's just talk about North America, since that's where
Okay,
you and I both are.
okay,
There's nothing in North America that's just going to kill you. You
right,
know, everything we have in the bigger scheme of toxicity is pretty mild. You know, and pretty
right.
middle of the road. Your eastern diamondback rattlesnake and your timber diamondback rattlesnake, those two rattlesnakes deliver the most quantity of venom,
Mm,
and that in itself, the quantity of the venom is what the real problem is, not really the toxicity of the venom. Because like I said, we just don't have anything. You know, I get bit by copperheads, I don't even go to the doctor because I'm
mm,
gonna swell up a little bit and then I'll be fine.
right.
But I've got a tolerance to it, over the
Mm,
years. um, People that are allergic to honeybees or wasps, they have a big problem because they're going to go into anaphylactic shock, and that's worse than the venom.
oh
You
wow.
know, but the number one thing is, I think the biggest thing that if I could just get into everybody's head is to calm down, relax. It's going to hurt, but you're going to be okay. You know, like that's the biggest thing. If you can just do that, then and calm down, then that's gonna help you. You're gonna be okay regardless. You know, it's gonna hurt like hell, and you're not gonna want to get bit again. You know, it's gonna be a nightmare situation. You know, when you're trying to heal, but you're not in like danger of dying. You know, you're in danger of a lot of medical bills, a lot of pain.
We
You know,
be more scared of what the humans got for you than the snake.
that's the crux of it, you know.
Right.
I mean, but you know, you're going to be okay. And so when you do that, you know, your metabolism goes down, your heart rate goes down, your blood pressure goes down, the venom doesn't travel as far, you don't have as much destruction going on.
Right.
You know, but the best thing you can do if you get bit is to stay calm, get to a medical facility as quickly as possible. You know.
So how true? Okay, I'm sorry. How true is if you get bit by a snake that's poisonous? How true is it that you can cut yourself and suck the venom out? Is that even true?
That's not true at all. Okay. You know, all you're going to do is get venom in every cavity you have. You're going to get venom. You're going to get venom in every ulcer you have in your mouth. You're going to get venom in every bite, like the inside of your mouth. You're going to get venom all in your mouth. Your face is going to swell up like a balloon. You know, that's what's going to happen. And you're not going to get any quantity of venom out by doing that.
Right. So what do you suggest a person should do?
Nothing.
If they get bit by a poisonous snake, just relax.
So if you get bit by a venomous snake, the best thing you can do is not do anything. Just calm down and get to a hospital. Okay. You know, I mean, most people are within 30 to 40 minutes of a hospital, unless you're just out in the woods somewhere.
Yes. You know? So how long does a person have before
you've got hours?
It can get real dangerous where they can die.
You got hours. Well, they're not going to die.
Okay.
They're not going to die. You know, so let's just say you get bit by a Western diamondback rattlesnake.
Oh boy!
And you can't get to a hospital. You're going to live. It's not going to be pretty, you know, but you're going to live. You're going to be okay. It's not going to kill you. We don't have anything in North America that just the venom is going to kill you. Right. Now it will mess you up, and you're going to hurt, and you're going to cry, and you know, then you might die of an infection, but you're not going to die from the venom.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, we just don't have anything here. You know, that's that toxic. Now we get over across the Atlantic, and over there's some nasty stuff over there, especially in Australia.
Ooh, you know? Boy, I don't want to go to Australia.
they got things down there that you get bit, you might as well just kiss your knees goodbye, because you know it's over. You know,
right? Places like Australia, Africa, Honduras, Salvador, India,
Middle East, all those areas, man. They've got some toxic things. They got that stuff got venom.
Yeah, you know? Real venom. 100%.
But here in North America, you know, we've got 5 or 6 species of rattlesnakes that are really high end. You know, you got one in Boston, the Masagua rattlesnake. You know, that's a pretty hot, what we consider toxic, hot rattlesnake. You know,
wow.
Now it's very secretive. And it likes marshy, moist areas, and so most people don't get anywhere near where it is, you know, in its habitat.
Right.
You know?
So snakes love to hide where there's humidity.
Some snakes, yeah, some snakes.
Just good to know, just in case I go hunt. I go to the woods camping. I know where not to be.
Well, if you're in all the good places to camp, that's the opposite. If you're in Nevada, or if you're in Utah or Arizona, those really great places to camp because it's cool at night and there's no humidity. That's completely opposite there. You know,
right?
If it looks like a rock, it might be a rattlesnake.
Yes, because they camouflage so good.
They do camouflage really well.
That's awesome. So, is there anything else you would like the viewers to know that you're doing?
Well, you know, if you follow my Facebook and my YouTube channel, I mean, I'm really good about posting what we got going on next. Okay. We are busy constantly. You know, I'm always in 5 or 6 films every year.
Oh wow.
And you know, I'm either acting or doing stunts or training animals, you know.
Right.
Our YouTube channel is very robust and growing every day. And so we're putting better and better content on there. I will say about the YouTube channel, the videos are extremely watchable. Like, like my editor, I've got a videographer on staff that he's on staff 24/7. His job is to follow me and video what I do and then edit those videos into entertaining content. And he does a really, really good job. His name's Cole Hieronymus. He is a film school graduate. He's been in a lot of different projects, but he's kind of hooked up with me, and he loves videoing this stuff, but he loves editing it too. So he makes really good, entertaining and engaging content for me.
I love that. I love someone that can do that.
Yeah, so I'd love everybody to check me out on YouTube. We are constantly putting the projects up on YouTube, talking about it on Wednesday nights. And then, you know, we drop shorts every day. We drop 2 to 3 shorts every day on the YouTube channel. We drop a long format every Saturday night. As a matter of fact, as soon as I jump off this, I'm going to be on my long format premiere for a YouTube channel that drops at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, be 9 o'clock your time. Yeah. But that's the best way to keep up with me. Facebook and YouTube, Wildlife Command Center.
Awesome. Awesome. Listen, I can't wait to meet you in person. I'm hoping that we can work in a project together, hopefully with David, Mary, or someone else, man, because I definitely would love to see you in action and know more about you. It's
absolutely,
it's exciting.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you having me on tonight. You're a great host, man. You ask great questions, keep the conversation flowing. I mean, we've talked for an hour and a half now, and I was like, what?
When it's good, it's good, Michael. When it's good, it's good. You know?
Yeah, when the conversation flows, it flows. But yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Likewise, I appreciate you, and you know, it's an honor to have you here. I'm very, very interested in what you're doing because I'm an animal lover, like I said, and I want to wish you the best. And if I can do anything for you, man, I'm just a phone call away, a text away. If you want to promote something, and you know, whatever it is, if I can help, then and I can do it, it's done. You know,
as soon as we're done with this, I'll send you a link to the YouTube premiere tonight at 8, and you can push it out real quick.
Okay, yes, send that to me. I'll appreciate that. All right, so thank you for coming aboard. Thank you for coming aboard. Good luck. Stay away from the snakes. Make sure you don't get bitten, and because I want to see you around more, and and hopefully we'll see each other on set.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Have a great night.
Likewise. Thank you so much. Goodbye. yes, folks. Listen, this show only gets better and better every time we on it. We got amazing guests here all the time. New talent, new faces, new stars from all over the world. Tune in on the Don Big Show. Every weekend, we got great guests coming on here. And if anybody want to reach out and find out more about him, make sure you guys go to his web YouTube channel, link on and check out what he's got going on. Great guy. So I want to thank Michael for coming on the show. And I want to thank everyone that tune in to support Michael. Thank you so much for supporting him, supporting the show. Anyone that wants to come on the show is welcome. Just make sure you inbox me as long as you got something positive to talk about. Any stories that you may want the viewers to know, you're welcome on my show. Okay. Of course, we don't do anything negative here on our show. So make sure if you come correct. Okay, folks. And with that being said, thank you guys so much. Tune in tomorrow. We got 3 great guests coming on the show. Oh boy. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. 3, 5, and 7. We got 3 guests coming on. So make sure you guys tune in. And again, show the love. And remember to share, because sharing is caring. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. So please tune in and show the love. With that being said, I'm going to say good night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Leave you with peace, love, respect. And I'm out of here.